Do you want to improve at FIFA 23?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Then this video is exactly what you need. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more FIFA 23. In today's video, what I have for you is my top 5 tips that help me massively improve in FIFA and more specifically in the weekend league. If you look back on my channel, you will see that I did a similar video to this one before, but I thought I would redo the video with new and better tips that I have learned since then, both in the game and with the making of the video. Also, quick little disclaimer, I am not a pro at FIFA by any means, but I do consider myself above average player, so while these tips help me improve, I still advise you guys to tweak them and change them to your specific style of play. So enough of me waffling on, let's jump straight into the top 5 tips that you can learn and hopefully gain you more wins in the weekend league. Tip number 1 is going to be the base of what you need to improve on first to start winning more games. And that tip is defending. Obviously, if you aren't conceding any goals, then you're more than likely to be winning your games. One of the major things I focused on improving my defense was the positioning of my goalkeeper. I'm sure we all know by now that if you hold down the triangle or Y button, then your keeper will rush out the goal towards the ball. But the next step to that, and the thing I've been trying to master, is if you hold down the right stick and then move it up or down, the keeper will move depending on how you move the stick. So as you can see on your screen, if I move the right stick while holding it down, the keeper will move. This is good for those situations where you have a one-on-one and you have a good idea of where the opponent is going to shoot, so you can move the keeper towards that position, making it easier for him to save. The next part for this first tip is how you're going to want to counter through balls. Through balls are really good on this FIFA, and the way you want to counter those through balls is by, if the opponent is making a run through the midfield with one of his midfielders and you can see that the striker is running behind your defenders, then you want to right stick switch to your centre back and track the run of the striker while keeping pressure on the midfielder with the ball by holding the L1 or LB button. So to summarize, tip number 1, what you want to do is make sure you are learning how to position your goalkeeper by using the right stick and moving it up or down to position him to save the ball, and you also want to make sure you are tracking back to track the runs of the opponent's striker with your centre back. Make sure you start learning these tips and mastering them so you can become a pro defender. Let's move on to tip number 2. Now that we have talked about defending and how to stop the opponent scoring, we are now going to talk about how you can start scoring more goals. That is why my tip number 2 for you guys is going to be shoot more. Yes, it really is that simple. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You work your way up through the midfield and you have the ball in your opponent's final third, but you just don't know what to do. So you start passing it back and forth between your attackers, and then your opponent ends up having enough time to bring their defense back, smother you out and cut out your play. So the simple solution to that is to just simply shoot. Couple this tip with the fact that Trivelas are still super powerful and green time shooting, then you'll be firing the goals more consistently. I did make this short that you will see on your screen about a setting that you should change to make green time shooting more easier and more consistent. So in conclusion, for tip number 2, it really is as simple as just shoot more. Making sure you take advantage of Trivelas and green time shooting, you'll be scoring more goals, and if you follow tip number 1, you'll be conceding less goals too. Easy wins, right? For tip number 3, we are going to be talking about R1 dribbling. R1 or RB, whatever console you use, is the same concept. R1 dribbling, or to go by the proper name, which is strafe dribbling I believe, it basically allows you to dribble the ball more closely to your player's feet and have more control over the ball. With this tip, you do want to couple it with the left stick dribble, which is very similar but did get nerfed to the ground on this FIFA. So with your midfielders, as you are nearing your opponent's final third, you want to be using R1 dribbling to find the pockets of space and the time you need to pick out one of your attackers who's going to be in space. This is also very effective when coupled up with the tip I'm about to give you guys with tip number 4. So let's jump straight into it. Tip number 4 I have for you guys is going to be utilizing skill moves. Now obviously I don't have the time to go through every skill move in the game, but I'm sure there are full guides out there on YouTube that you can watch and learn, or even let me know down below if you would like to see me make a full guide. So basically what I'm going to let you know for skill moves is how you are going to want to use them more effectively. What has helped me improve, especially when it comes to using skills, is realizing the time and place for using them. I rarely use skill moves in a chain as it can become very predictable. I like to use them one at a time, while mixing which one I use to keep them unpredictable to the opponent. You also never want to use skill moves while you are sprinting, as this can result in heavy touches and losing the ball. So to summarize this tip, you want to be using one skill move at a time while mixing up which one you use to be unpredictable. You also don't want to use skill moves while sprinting so you don't lose the ball, and you want to be using them in and around the final third to find quick space and gaps to take a shot. Also, finally, you want to search up a guide on which ones are most effective for you guys to be using. And finally, my last tip for you guys, tip number 5 is going to be don't always copy the pros. Yes, I know that they are good at the game, which is why they are pros, but they also could play a very different playstyle to however you play the game. For me personally, I like to have possession of the ball, build up quickly and direct passes, so when I see videos about how over the top balls are OP, then I try to do them, they don't really work out. It is also the reason why before the lengthy nerf I never really liked using Haaland, is because he was only really good from over the top balls, which I could never master as it wasn't my style of play. What I have found most effective for me is taking information from these pro guides but tweaking them to the way I play. You never really want to exact copy custom tactics because they may have a completely different team to the one that you use. So in conclusion, you basically want to find what works best for the way you play the game and not just copy what someone has told you to do, which is also why I made this video, because I want to give you guys tips from the slightly above average player who doesn't get to play the game all the time, while still advising you to tweak the tips and make them your own. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you can find success from these tips that I've given to you, and now you can start winning more games to climb those divisions and get higher ranks in the weekend league. Remember, no matter how many tip videos you watch, all that matters is that you are having fun playing the game. Don't switch things just to win if it makes the game less fun for you. I appreciate any and all of you that watched this video. Be sure to go check out any other videos in the channel that you haven't watched already. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy or find any of the tips useful, and hit that subscribe button to help me reach 200 subs. Good luck in your games out there. Thank you for watching. Much love. Peace.